Welcome to the WDW News Today podcast. My name is Eric Morton, and with me, of course, Tom Corliss.
You're higher than I am. Hold on.
And I haven't.
Can you take me higher?
All right, there we are.
Let's go there.
I'm back temporarily.
Let's go there. Where did you go?
I went all over, and what we're going to do on this episode, we're going to eat popcorn, and we're going to watch some of my vacation videos.
Well, this is a historic episode.
Yeah? Tell us why.
This is a landmark. This is number 50.
50, big
50. When was the first
50.
one? When did we start these?
About a year ago. A little over a year ago. Because
Yeah,
we missed
several
probably
weeks,
3 or 4 weeks. But yeah,
more than that.
50 episodes of this. Can you believe it? I hope that on episode 49, when I wasn't here, that you didn't cause any kind of ruckus.
No, it was pretty low key. It was a pretty low key show. I certainly have not been the topic of conversation on, the most timely of social media platforms, Reddit, in either the subreddit for Universal, Walt Disney World, nor Disney Parks. Certainly have I not been thoroughly discussed on all three of those platforms.
Does it appear, at least from a distance, that you wait until I'm out of town to start popping off at the mouth more? People
definitely think all of you keep me in line, I think. And the second everyone doesn't look, then I'll say something. But
Katie
what are
was
you
here.
Pointing at?
She didn't have the mute button ready, though.
What does that mean?
She wants you to look in, talking to
the into that one? Or talk better? Sit better?
No, it's
what do you want me to do?
Because when you have to, on the trail, it's pay attention to the children.
Pay attention to the children.
And we all point at each other.
You point at each other. Okay. All right. I get it, I guess. Anyway, so yeah, I can't travel.
People of Celebration not known for their sense of humor, but anyway, I do.
I can't travel for a week and a half without.
No, it's unfair.
Some sort of controversy.
Billy's very funny. Anyway, I'm joking, Katie. You're both very funny.
And just in the interest of fairness, I didn't watch the whole episode, but it didn't seem it seemed like most of your criticisms of Epic Universe weren't necessarily criticisms. They were just before you get too excited, this isn't that different from what Disney does, right? And I'll say, let me be the 100th person to say this. Scumbag pricing they've come up with.
Yeah.
Scumbag pricing scheme that they've come up with at Universal, and it's a shame.
No one in a million years, not the most pixie duster of pixie dusters, if the shoe was on the other foot, would come out and say oh yeah, it makes sense they sold me tickets to the other 4 Disney World theme parks when I just want to go to the 5th new one. No one in a million years would have a positive thing to say. And for so many people to be it's to control capacity and it's to do this. I don't know what has happened post-COVID in this fandom, but we have lost our minds at this point.
Yeah.
But
so other than that, I'm excited for the park to open. I did not buy a ticket because I'm just going to wait and let it.
If you listen to the show, I said there was a handful of things I'm very excited about, like the Dragon Show and Donkey Kong and the Ministry of Magic ride. It wasn't all negative, but people I think people hear one thing they take offense to, and then that they turn the show off and then jump to the comment section and then go to Reddit and complain.
Oh boy.
That's also another drama moment for me last week was Walt Disney World raised ticket prices again. And I said what I say every year on the show, which is, these are not crazy price increases. So honestly, if you're a family of 4 and $3 each prices you out, then maybe it wasn't a good idea to go to begin with. And some people said, I've never heard something so tone deaf. No, it's part of
these are the same people that think that Universal charging $500 and something for a 2-day pass is reasonable.
They sure are the same people. But the problem is, look, when you go on vacation, when you go far away, a lot of things can go wrong, right? And if you're on a tight budget, and let's say you miss your flight or the hotel is out of business. If you stay at a I don't know. I'm trying to think what could happen. These are things I've heard happen to people, or they accidentally overbook or whatever the case may be. Either way, if you're on a shoestring budget and you've used that budget and then something big happens, we're a family of 4 and we missed our flights and the airline won't do anything, How are you getting home?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know in what universe a couple dollars each ticket and saying that if that puts you over the edge, then maybe you shouldn't have gone to begin with is being
No, but-
tone deaf or elitist or any of those things.
No, but I can still be critical of it and say, look,
Yeah.
this death by 1,000 paper cuts is real, right? Because they're not just, it wasn't like, oh, we just raised the prices a couple bucks.
Yeah.
It's, we raised the price of everything by several dollars.
And it's the same time every year.
Right, it's the same time every year.
It's just
Look,
calculated.
everybody does it.
Yeah.
But it's, they do it, they don't pay attention, as close attention as you think to probably how the economy's going. They just say,
Yeah.
Look, we're not having trouble selling
They're like
tickets
the
now, let's
numbers
jack up
went
the price.
the numbers went up this much last year, and look, there is obviously some thought that goes into it because the increases are not the same every year, right?
Yeah.
Like the Mickey pretzel doesn't go up the same amount every year.
No.
There was a couple years ago, I think it went up over $1.50 or something. It was like a giant one, and then this year I think it was like 50 cents or something. Some of them were that small where
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well, no one's gonna look at that and be like, oh, the Mickey pretzel's 50 cents more. Maybe I'm not gonna get it.
But like in the last like 2 years, there's been a dramatic drop in inflation, so that's offset. So like, well, people still have more disposable income, so they might look at that. I just think they look at like, hey, we're not having trouble selling tickets. In fact, we're having trouble managing capacity. Here we go.
The problem is the market, right?
Right.
The problem is people. The same thing with cake bake. People are willing to pay it, and so I see. There's a million comments under the cake bake stuff where people are just wishing doom upon them. But you're not the one that makes the decision, and neither are we. The decision will be made by how many bodies walk in the door. And I hate to tell people, most importantly, in the case of Walt Disney World, we are not the ones who create or dictate the flow of business. We are a blip on the radar as the regulars, the locals, or even the annual pass holders. We make up a very small percentage of the pie. So we don't control anything. Occasionally we get to cancel an attraction or two if we're loud enough. But otherwise, we don't control as much as you might think. And us as a group being like, we're not going to eat a cake bake may not have any impact. We'll have to wait and see.
And you can't look like me and walk in there by yourself, right? Look, it looks a little weird. It's not for me.
I mean,
I'm
Jason
not
and I
their
think
target
looked a little
audience, right?
Yeah.
I am not their target audience.
None of us, no one in the restaurant on the first day was their target audience.
Yeah.
So often I see some of the comments I saw about Epic Universe tickets was, this is great. It will stop the park from being full of only influencers. And to which my response was, do you think there are 50,000 influencers? Because I don't think so.
All right. We've talked about this a lot, but we have a lot of popcorn and a lot of clips to get
Eric's
through.
like,
But
please move
No,
on.
I want to get started because this first thing is I'll explain it to you. This
Okay.
is just normal Walmart. We're not having a competition, right? This is not. I don't think we're ranking these. We can
Why
rank them
is
later.
this the theme of this episode?
We decided to have a popcorn episode.
Okay.
Because Reese's
Episode 50,
because there was
pop-
Reese's popcorn, and you said we got to do an episode with that.
I do
We
like
started
Reese's
with kind of early on with Reese's, and now they have a popcorn. Now we just have all kinds of popcorn. This is great value popcorn. Your basic Walmart microwave popcorn. I just want you to have a small handful of it, and I'll explain why. I just pulled that out of my couch cushions. Oh,
It's still
I said
better.
take a small handful. I didn't say eat it.
I had 3. Oh, it was. I thought I just.
I was kidding.
You take a handful.
Yeah, I was kidding.
I mean, it's still better than the Walt Disney World Park popcorn, I think, if I'm being honest. It's not
So
great.
get a baseline, right? Well, here's the park popcorn.
I hate the park.
I want to get a baseline because on TikTok there was this thing where they froze popcorn. They popped it, they put it in a bag, they put it in a freezer, and they said it's better. And everyone's like, it is better. It's the salt is saltier. The snozzberries taste more like snozzberries. All this stuff, and that the little tiny pieces don't get all over you. So I just took this out of the freezer like 10 minutes ago, 15 minutes ago. It's the same popcorn from the same batch.
I don't
want to see if
think
it's
I
any better.
agree with this assessment.
It's
but
not that
okay.
cold though. It has warmed up quickly.
People are stupid.
I think it tastes the same.
The theme of today's episode is people are stupid.
It tastes the same, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Maybe a little crunchier because it's frozen, and this other stuff has been
it's a
sitting
little
here
soggy
since 10
the
o'clock this
other one,
morning.
yeah. But I don't know. All right.
I know, and you know, you're dying to have the Reese's.
But that's probably not the natural progression here.
I think the progression
that's next. Probably.
Yeah, we do this next. Do we want to watch a clip first, or do we want to?
Yeah, sure.
Let me talk about the clip.
Go ahead.
I went on my road trip. I'm not a natural vlogger. I'm not good at it. I'm not a good video editor. This is the first time I've ever edited video in Premiere. In fact, the very first clip is the very first section of this clip is botched. I cut it off a little early. Couldn't fix it because I don't know how. Right? That's how stupid I am. I'm not good at vlogging.
This is like when you were the graphic designer on News Tonight for a week.
Oh, that was good. So I knew where I was going to end up on the road trip, but I did not know even the morning I woke up for sure where I was going to go. So this first clip is longer than some of the rest of them. Okay. But we can go ahead, and we start at like 4:55 in the morning. Go ahead, Katie. Well, it is a little before 5 a.m. 4:54 a.m. And today is, what day is it? October 14th, and we're at the Walt Disney World Car Care Center, the Speedway gas station. I have just gassed up the car, and it's time for my road trip. All right, so you guys remember Outside the Bubble. This is like Outside the Bubble, but I'm solo on a road trip. And not only that, I don't know where I'm going. So I'll have certain landmarks to hit on this road trip, but we're going way outside the bubble. Like, we're going north, like way north, and west, like way west. I have a couple spots we need to get to by certain times, but in between there, fill in the blanks. We're going to go wherever we want. So I'm going to start heading up into actually Georgia, and then when we get there, gas up, and hopefully we can pick. We get a lot of this view, a lot of windshield time this trip. I promise I'll be driving over 50 hours on this trip, maybe more. Say goodbye to Disney World. All right, we are leaving Florida now. We are 200 miles into the trip. It is 7:52 a.m. The sun is coming up. I did stop for Starbucks. I'm not a big Starbucks or coffee person, so I don't know all the things to order. I got a venti hot flat white, so I ordered 4 adjectives, but it served me well, got me this far, made me feel good, woke me up a little bit, and we have a little ways to go. I'm going to get some gas in an hour or two, and then I'll pick our destination. I have a couple spots in mind, and we'll pick one. All right, we're stopped for gas at world famous Buc-ee's here in Warner Robins, Georgia. Gas is $2.43 a gallon. We made it about 345 miles, and it's a little before 10 a.m. So making okay time. I'm taking my time, I'm relaxing. I'll show you the setup of the car in just a minute after we're done pumping, and then we'll choose our destination. All right, I've been thinking about the destination a lot. I was gonna flip a coin. I had it narrowed down. Basically, as you get north of Atlanta, you can kind of start heading west, go towards Chattanooga. And I was thinking of camping at Cloudland Canyon State Park. I might do that on the way back. I like that idea. But I've settled on going to a place I've never been before, but I've heard a lot about. So I'm going to spend tonight in Helen, Georgia. Helen, Georgia is like a Bavarian alpine village, but in Georgia. So, that's going to be a few more hours, obviously, in the car. And maybe stay one day, maybe stay 2. I guess we'll find out. Maybe we can call Lee from the road and she can help us find a place. But let's show you how we're set up for the car. All right, first of all, Lee packed some snacks for me. Before I go into Buc-ee's and look at snacks, I don't know what she packed in this cooler, which is kind of hard to unzip. It looks like we have some, Propel and some kind of looks like it's sandwich, some things to drink, and then I have a little bag of snacks back here. So I'm well taken care of because Lee is great. She will, if you're wondering, Lee will be joining us on this trip at some point. I'm gonna turn off the car and step out and show you the back. Oh, I dropped my phone. All right. Back here, I just have some backpacks, snacks, laptop, camera equipment. And then here, we're all set up. I have obviously a couple bags. Then I have some camping gear in case we camp. And then these boxes these is to hold bourbon back because we're definitely going to be going through Kentucky and checking out the bourbon trail on this trip. Anyway, I'm gonna go in Buc-ee's and see what they got. Maybe get an energy drink. I'm hurting a little bit, and then we'll be back on the road. And here's just a few seconds of Buc-ee's B-roll because, well, half the videos on YouTube are people going to Buc-ee's, and you've seen plenty of this. Beef jerky, beef jerky, beef jerky, beef jerky, beef jerky. Welcome to Oktoberfest. We're here in Helen. A lot of really slow-moving traffic. Let's see what we can get. All right, we have arrived in Helen. Yeah, it kind of looks like Germany, I guess. Bavaria here in Georgia. I'm a big fan of the Germany Pavilion at Epcot. Maybe this will ring familiar notes. I don't know. I gotta find my hotel though. Then we'll explore a little bit. I have arrived at my hotel. We have this nice little river right next to it. Waiting to check into this lovely little place. Nice little spot on the river. Dogs walking around. Very windy. It's cold. I don't think I'll be going on that water slide. It's cold and my room's not ready, so I can't change clothes. So I'm a little cold. Maybe a bad decision on my part. Okay, look, I'm walking down the street and I see that there is a fried cheese cafe. Seems like something you have to check out, right? Should we go? Why not? So yeah, here it is. They have all kinds of traditional German food. No alcohol here, which is, I guess a little abnormal for a German place. But over here, all the fried cheese specialties, mozzarella stuffed with ham, sharp cheddar stuffed with ham, French brie stuffed with ham, and I'm getting the fried cheese kebab. It's one of each of these, plus some roasted potatoes. We're gonna give this a shot. I've never had fried cheese as a meal, but it's something I can get behind. All right, so the food has arrived. Check this out. These are the fried cheese pieces on the skewer with some roasted potatoes. It doesn't look bad. Give it a shot. Also, these potatoes look delicious. And they are. All right, so let's give this a shot. I've already tried some of this. The roasted potatoes, these are amazing. Let's try the cheese now. Hold on. All right, fried cheese with ham. I don't know which one this is. It's pretty good. Pretty good. So how are you gonna go wrong with fried cheese, right? All right, we're done there. I didn't want to be rude. It wasn't good. Kind of got worse as it went on. Really good service, really nice people. I wish I had gotten some kind of meat dish or something like that. I think the fried cheese was a big letdown. It was, something I thought like, oh well, obviously you got to get fried cheese as a meal. But if I had a mulligan, I would do something else. This is the King Ludwig Beer Garden. Not super busy, but it is a Monday at 2:45 p.m.
No longer one of those guys. Sure as I live.
It was Agapa all along.
Clap, 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 clap. Everybody clap. Clap, 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 clap. Warm up your hands. Clap, 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 clap.
Christos caramel corn and coffee on the river. How adorable. All right, I'm back down by the river. Took a little bit of a nap because, well, I was up since 4 a.m. Here's my hotel. It's called the River Bend. They have these things. There's also over here. It's gonna be hard to show you. Over there, you see these little houses on stilts they have. I'm in this like hotel part, super cheap. I mean, that's relative, I guess, but I think $115. But now that it's evening, they're kicking off Oktoberfest back into town. And so Oktoberfest is starts at 6:30. They said there's a band. I think it's $10 to get in. Walk down, have a couple beers, check out the town. It's a little dead earlier. Let's see what we see tonight. Come on. We have arrived at the Fest Hall. Brought to you by the Helen Chamber of Commerce. There's all their events. Obviously, Oktoberfest is September to October. It's on the weekends in September, but now we're in October. It's every night. So we're going to go in. Let's see. Oh, here's the... I think there's live bands coming up. Oh, yeah. It might be... The rest of the town might be shut down now, but it's almost 7 o'clock. You know it's about to pop off here. All right, I don't hear real well. It was a long line for beer. So instead of getting like 2, I got a pitcher, but then I felt bad, so I got 2 glasses so I didn't look like an alcoholic. It's a Pop Brauhaus original, their Alley Oktoberfest, and a pretzel. The damage is severe. The pitcher is $26. The pretzel's $13. And there's a band way over there. Oh, that's it.
That's the first one.
That's so
That's the end of the
abrupt.
first one. Yeah. So,
You are a fine editor, sir.
Oh yeah, I think it was pretty great. It's just an honor to be nominated, honestly. No, it's bad. Helen was cool, man, but yeah, I felt that pressure when I had to get the pitcher of beer because they didn't offer a large beer because there's a long line, and the dude's like, "Oh yeah, how many glasses you want for that?" I was like, "Oh, 2." Like I'm not. What do I look like, an alcoholic with a pitcher of beer and a $13 pretzel?
Wow.
I don't know. You want to go to Helen now?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a happening place.
It's not bad. It'd be fun with people.
The prices, I am so glad you documented the prices.
Yeah.
Because that's been the discourse lately. And a $13 pretzel is not far outside of our theme park tourist realm.
So one thing I noticed there is not that place, right? That place is like, I think it's owned by the city.
Yeah.
Like the city built, or some group built this large.
Maybe they had a big German population or something.
No.
Yeah.
I
No?
actually cover that the next morning.
Oh,
and at the beginning of the
find
next
out.
vlog. But basically, I asked the dude there. I was like, "Oh, so is this town founded by a bunch of German immigrants?" You know, and he goes, "No." He said, like back in the '60s, like the logging industry took a dive,
Yeah.
and so some like local dude is like, "Let's build like we're in Germany." And we'll get tourists here. So it's basically a movie set. They built a movie set in like the late
Wow.
'60s there. People love to go there now. And
It's like Walt Disney. Someone just went to Germany and was like, "Oh, that was cool," and then they're
Yeah.
like, "Why don't we build it here?"
but it seems like every place else I went in that town had the same point of sale system. Like you're like,
Do you think
is
it's
this really all
like one-
unified somehow?
It's all like one
It looks
company?
independent. They look like independent shops,
Yeah.
but you know, I don't know. Everybody seemed to have the same point of sale system, and it was like not a common one, right?
Like
it was
a
a little
weird
bit
cult,
quirky,
maybe.
quirky enough for me to notice, right? Yeah, maybe
Weird
No.
beer garden cult.
no, because like my hotel, they clearly were not down with the German stuff at all, even though that's the whole point of the town,
Yeah.
is to like attract people that are into like German stuff. And she's like, I think they got some of them brassworks down there. If you go down there,
Wow.
yeah, it's pretty country, but
Okay.
nice place. I had a good time up there. It's kind of a pretty drive. It's doable in a day from here. Like I said, I left at 4:45, 4:55 in the morning, and got there in plenty of time to do pretty much everything except the outdoor. You know, a lot of people go there to go hiking or go down. They have those like alpine roller coaster. You know, the things where you
The
roll
mountain
around
coaster,
in a
yeah.
ditch. Yeah, they had a lot of that. So it was a lot of fun. Recommend. Cheap. I mean, the food was tourist trap food, but the actual hotel was, well, I think it paid $115.
You said, yeah.
So not too bad.
Should we have some popcorn?
Should we have some popcorn? What do you want to move to next?
I think let's get this
regular,
out-
your
get this
regular
out of the
Disney
way.
parks popcorn.
Get this junk out of the way. I know people are gonna fight me on this, but
This is not better than the Great Value popcorn we just had.
it's just so oversalted. It's like I just stuck my hand into a vat of salt. Oh, Rosanna is yelling at her computer right now because she loves it. I hate it. It's so gross.
I'm not a big fan. We can get another one out of the way
It's
too.
not really Pop Secret though. If you
I'm-
make Pop Secret at home, it doesn't taste like this. It's fine.
The last episode I was here for, we talked about when I had to go up on
The-
stage
the
and talk at
Raptive
that
conference.
event. So they sent me a gift box to thank me, and this is
What is this? It's like Moose Munch.
the Art of Caramel, whatever. Vanilla bean cocoa nib is the flavor.
Oh,
Have some vanilla bean cocoa nib.
Cocoa Nib.
Cocoa nib?
Oh, that is gooey.
I might have dropped one.
Good. It's gooey. Leave it on the floor. It'll do great.
Gooey.
It kind of is. It's good though. It's really good.
This is really good.
That's the best popcorn we've had so far.
For sure.
Oh my god! It's like you said. There's caramel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I think the place is called the Art of Caramel.
But then it's got like this rich chocolate flavor over it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good.
So
Wow.
I did buy popcorn at the caramel corn and coffee place. And I bought two. One was Mexican hot chocolate. Amazing. It's like hot chocolate with a little spice to it. And it's all, everything there is like caramel corn, but different flavors. And the other one I got was like Bavarian pretzel,
Yeah.
which, again, very good. They give free samples. They're very nice at that place. The place is very nice. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, so far, this is clearly in the lead, I think.
Let me see that. Yeah, the Art of Caramel. All natural and air popped. Now, welcome to the part of the show where we just eat it.
I'm going to compare it to this.
No. It's so good. We do so much free advertising on the show. Whatever that company is, we just made them money. That's good, though.
So, by the way, I woke up that next morning and it was cold, like 35 degrees, which, look, you're in the mountains,
Yeah.
For Floridians, it's a mountain. It's taller than Space Mountain. So that counts, right?
Wow.
And yeah, wake up and how do you do this? There's no recipe for this. Where am I going to go? I don't know. And you had told me, we talked about in the episode, that Pigeon Forge had a restaurant with animatronic chickens.
I did.
That
Because
got me
we were thinking about going and then didn't.
I knew I couldn't do Dollywood. My schedule was too compressed.
Yeah.
Because of the hurricane, I just couldn't spend days in places.
Yeah.
So I actually didn't even spend the day in Pigeon Forge. But I did some research. Do you know how old Dolly Parton was when they renamed the theme park to Dollywood?
She was pretty young.
40 years old.
Yeah.
40 years old and they're naming theme parks after you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Did they name it after? I thought she bought it.
no, the same family that owns Silver Dollar City, it's not Hershey, it's like
No, Hershey's a different.
Hershend family?
That sounds right.
Yeah, so they bought it. And then they actually called it Silver Dollar City, Tennessee, or
Oh,
something
it
like
was.
that.
Oh, okay.
And then they collabed with her for some brand clout. It's like early days of, it's like today all over again, right? And they're like, hey, let's do an X, let's do a collab, and so it's been Dollywood ever since. And I don't know what stake she has in it. I'm sure she probably
shows
gets
up all the time.
Probably
so
gets
it
an
must be
annual pass
something.
out of the deal.
Oh, I think she gets more than that.
But Pigeon Forge, what a wild place. But it was so cold that I could see all the go-kart tracks. There's a lot of outdoor stuff to do, and nobody's doing any of it. You know what they were doing? They were all sitting on the main road through town where I was, because I was in the biggest traffic jam.
People say
I-4
the
level
traffic's
traffic jam. Oh, it was,
terrible.
God, horrible. So I didn't even get to go to Gatlinburg.
Yeah.
So I just basically came over the mountain, and it's like you can go to Gatlinburg here or Pigeon Forge. I know they're pretty close together.
Yeah.
I chose the Pigeon Forge direction. Once I was leaving town, I was like, that's where I'm going. And I mean, at that point, you've been driving through. It's stressful mountain driving all day long, right?
Yeah.
It's
Winding
and narrow roads and all that stuff. So I don't know. You want to roll the clip for that? This one might be shorter.
Let the cartoon begin.
Okay, well, it's the next morning. Oktoberfest was interesting. It was fun. I learned something last night. I was talking to some dude, and I was like, oh, are there a lot of German immigrants in this town? He's like, no. Back in the 60s, the industry was dying out in the town, so this guy came up with an idea to build an alpine village. And so it's all artificial. It's created for tourism. I had a good time. In general, Helen's a neat town. I think it's a town I would like better if I were with someone else. Traveling solo on this trip, I had to do what I could do. Had a good time. The town's dead after 6 p.m. except for that Oktoberfest hall. At least, it was a Monday night, right? So we're gonna get on the road. It's about 40 degrees out. It's 8 a.m. and we're gonna drive to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, because Tom Corliss told me that there is some restaurant there with a choir of animatronic chickens. It's about a 3-hour drive, so let's go. Goodbye, Helen. Nice to meet you. Welcome to North Carolina. This is Morton Point, and I have a short moment that is very powerful in my memories here many years ago with my brother and sister, and we've laughed about it for years. My first time back since that day. And now we're going through tunnels. It's wild out here in the Smokies. This drive has been crazy, really beautiful, and it's a perfect time of year to do this. There's a road sign you don't see a lot. Let's see what happens here. All right, we made it. This is the Frizzle Chicken Farmhouse Cafe in lovely Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It looks like there's a wait and we get signed up. All right, they said it's going to be a 30 to 45 minute wait here. I'm going to sit up by this egg. It's kind of cold. I can see some of the animatronic chickens. They have names like Layer Swift and Kelly Cluckson and Cluck Norris. So it should be a fun show once we see these chickens. Well, I finally got my table for one here, and I'm right under Amelia Egghart. And over here is Larry Bird. All right, pretty basic breakfast. Also the biscuits and gravy over here. There's no way I can eat all this, but they said there's a show every 25 minutes.
Minding my own business.
All right, that's gonna do it for Frizzle Chicken. It was under 20 bucks and a cute little animatronic show. Not a whole lot to it. Fun names. I would have loved to have been called in to help them name the chickens. Now we're gonna get down the road. We're gonna go into Kentucky now. It's gonna be a few hours, and that way we can start hunting a little bourbon tomorrow, maybe. I don't know.
The lady yawning. This is amazing. The one that's out sick with chicken pox. Back to the Pee-wee's. It went back to it. Oh.
Wyatt chirp.
This is amazing. And so.
All right, that's gonna do it for Frizzle Chicken.
Eric's face
It
says
was
it
under
all.
20 bucks and a cute little animatronic show. Not a whole lot to it. Fun names. I would have loved to have been called in to help them name the chickens. Now we're going to get down the road. We're going to go into Kentucky now. It's going to be a few hours. And that way we can start hunting.
The chickens are going to get fried. That was everything I dreamt it would be. Oh my!
Who was your favorite
God.
chicken?
The one with the long beak.
I mean,
did it
did it have a
even
name?
look like a chicken? I don't even remember what name was under it, but it was the weirdest.
Layer Swift.
It looked like a crane.
I don't know.
Oh.
Penny Rogers. That was another good one.
The moment, what's great about it is you could picture, when you hear the song start, you just picture the voice actor who had to do that, just like, just like sitting there like that. In fairness, though, Billie Eilish did the cat version of the song from Barbie. I forget what's that song called. Yeah, the meow, 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 meow. She did that on stage, and I mean, she's very famous and accomplished, and she's still, that's the age we live in of the meme.
Have you ever seen the clip of the people in the recording studio doing the voices of the Minions when they're like flying?
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about The Sims.
No.
Kate,
I've
you ever
The
seen when
Sims, yeah.
Katy Perry performed
Yeah.
her song in Simlish? It's wild.
Pick a popcorn.
You know what I'm going to pick, but I don't think that's the natural progression. I think we have to go over. Can we do the Disneyland one next?
Disneyland.
So Disneyland, of course, has this popcorn also, but then Disneyland is the land of ODV, which is outdoor vending. They have all these outdoor vending sort of islands where it's like a cluster. It's like they've circled the wagons, and you could get like 50 different things at one cart, essentially. And they do prepackaged popcorn in a lot of them, and at all of them. And so they come in, all your standard flavors. There's buttered, and there's caramel, and there's hot cheddar cheese, and of course, Phantasmic.
Does that mean really burnt?
Caramel, butter, Phantasmic, all the flavors.
It's highly charred. Well done.
I've been dying to try this. This came out like a month or so ago. Goofy's on this bag. It's the hot cheddar cheese. I did have some yesterday while I enjoyed a
Topo Chico?
I jokingly call them Topo Gigos, but yeah,
Yeah.
Topo Chico. I broke them.
Big fan. I'm a big fan of their work.
So I didn't tell you how I felt about this because I wanted you to try it and let me know how you feel. Don't have too much because your tan will turn red and be that way for the rest of the day. And then Mickey will look at you weird when you ask him to sign something.
Something tastes like a barn smells. I don't love it.
They were disappointing. They're okay. I just feel like you're better off getting like the Flamin' Hot. Any of the Flamin' Hot
is better.
stuff. It's like they were afraid to go that far, but
No,
it
it still
still
tastes very
It
artificial.
still stains your hands the same way, but without the fun flavor.
I mean, Flamin' Hot tastes artificial too, but good
But it's
artificial.
this
is
lame.
It might be the worst one I've had today.
My worst
Would not
is
buy.
Still that. Should we try it? How many more clips you have?
That was 2 clips, right? There's 5 total.
All right, then maybe we should do the cooch,
Okay.
or should we do
Yeah,
it, or should we
yeah.
space it out more?
No, we could do that cooch.
Let's do the cooch. Oh, this is a heavy bag, man.
Heavy bag.
I can't remember the last time I even had this.
This is from last night at Epcot. I was unable to get the maple. I know people are going to be like, what about the Canada maple popcorn? I don't love that maple popcorn, but I was
okay.
unable to get time to do that too. So.
Obviously, when it's hot, it's best. It's still good, though. Yeah. You want to set up the next clip?
Works every time.
60% of the time, it works every time. Or whatever the quote is.
So, keep in mind, when I left the chicken place, excuse me, I'm chewing. I still had not decided where I was going to go. Where am I going to spend the night? And I finally decided to go to Lexington, Kentucky. There's not a whole lot of interest. I was staying in the same hotel as the Bradley University Braves men's soccer team, and they're like stretching basically in the lobby beforehand. They were getting to play against the University of Kentucky. So I went there. It was really rainy and crappy. I wanted to see more of Lexington, right? Because like they got a big university there, and there's all kinds of stuff. Rupp Arena, I'm like, oh, a historic basketball arena. I looked at it, it's like part of a mall. Like it's not what you would think of as a historic basketball arena at all. You're like, I'm going to go to Annie Ann's and
They went
pretzels
full
and
tourist on it,
yeah, it's built into a mall.
Yeah, but they have Annie Ann's everywhere, Katie.
But here, this is
Yeah.
the most embarrassing part, though. I went to Buffalo Wild Wings. I didn't put this in there.
Famous local establishment.
Well, I wanted to watch a game,
Wow.
and Lee wasn't with me, and Lee hates Buffalo Wild Wings and doesn't go to it.
right.
So I was like, okay, it's now a place I can only go to when I'm traveling. So that's my guilty travel pleasure, is because I still look. They were not. It wasn't a great place to begin with, and it's kind of gone downhill in the last few years.
Yeah.
But their Caribbean jerk sauce is still some of the best like chicken wing sauce I've ever had.
Asian zing, man.
Yeah. So yeah, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, hung out there, drove around a little bit, came back, and I really tried it. I did a lot of sleeping on this trip. I think I've been really tired. So I went to bed early.
From the summer of being me, you were finally able to catch up on your sleep.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I did that, and look at me now. Though. Look how sunburned I am from the weekend.
Yeah.
You know, I've been living my best life. Played 5 rounds of golf in 4 days.
I ate 5 rounds of barbecue food in 2 days.
That's good if it's in like KC or Texas. It's not so
Not
good if
at
you're
the
in
Hungry
California.
Bear.
Yeah. So anyway, I went to Lexington, Kentucky, and woke up the next day and basically decided, why don't I go to the Bourbon Trail? I knew I was going to hit the Bourbon Trail, but yeah, roll the clip. Okay, so I spent the night in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm outside the Fairfield Inn. The Bradley University men's soccer team, their bus just left. I guess they tied University of Kentucky last night. I don't know. I didn't film anything last night. Nothing interesting happened. I pretty much came to the hotel, chilled out, took care of some stuff, went to get something to eat. Now I'm going to go to Buffalo Trace Distillery. It's a short drive away in Frankfort, Kentucky. Checking the Buffalo Trace Daily website that somebody tracks what the available bourbon is in the gift shop on any given day, because Buffalo Trace rotates some of their allocated stuff. It looks like it's going to be Weller Special Reserve today. That's probably the least sought after of their allocated bourbons, but actually it might be their best. I know people chase they have brands like Blanton's, Eagle Rare, E.H. Taylor, Weller, obviously Pappy Van Winkle, which never shows up in the gift shop. So I think it looks like it's going to be Weller today. I'll go get some. It's one of my favorite bourbons. And then we're going to tour around some distilleries, and I haven't decided where I'm spending the night tonight, where we're going, if we're staying here, if we're going to, head on down the road. I don't know. Stick around and find out. All right, we have arrived at Buffalo Trace Distillery. The way this works is a little weird. The gift shop opens at 9, and that's where they sell their allocated bourbon of the day. So we will see people lined up like they're rope dropping Disney World. You have to go in, you get a wristband. They check your driver's license and get you a wristband, and you're only allowed 1 bottle of any given spirit per 90-day period. So usually they rotate these, every 4 days. And so if you get Weller Special Reserve today and you come back in a week and they have Weller Special Reserve again, you can't buy it. So that's why people sometimes come on consecutive days. It is a Wednesday. It doesn't look too busy, but I do see, if you look over here, there is a long line of people waiting to get into the gift shop, which opens at 9. It is about 8:40 right now. I will say also, hold on, sometimes they have a guy greet you at this little stand. I don't think I need to talk to anybody. I will say, a lot of lights have come on my car, and I think it's because it's 35 degrees. I don't think there's anything actually wrong with my car, but my coolant light came on. Obviously, the tire pressure light comes on if you live up north. That happens every year when it gets cold. The red triangle with an exclamation mark. I got all kinds of stuff going on. My car, hopefully, when I pull in here, go in and then come back later, my car will be fine. But yeah, we're pulling up right here to the Buffalo Trace. Well, this is like the check-in building. I've been here a time or two before. Over there is going to be where the gift shop is, kind of up that hill. Over here to the right, where you see all the people lined up, that is Rick House H, that's where Blanton's is aged. Just FYI, a little history. So, all right, let's go. These are like roller coasters for barrels full of whiskey. So if you're here at the right time, they just roll them down here to get them loaded onto a truck and get them out of here. E-ticket attraction. Now here's some of the brands they make. You got Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, Weller, Churchy Stag, OFC. That's a single oak project. That's gonna be interesting. Where I think the barrels are all made of like the same trees. East Taylor, Blanton's, Elmer T. Lee, Sazerac, Charter Oak. This is what's available for today's purchase. All those you can buy as much as you want, except for the Weller Special Reserve. You can only get one bottle every 90 days. There's a Buffalo Trace button up. All kinds of stuff. The Weller will be over there. There's the light up counters. And some of the bourbon's just sitting here. Grab that if you want. All kinds of stuff for sale. Traveler is sort of a newer blended whiskey they have, and that is a collaboration with Chris Stapleton, a singer. It's very good, actually. Okay, it looks like we've gotten into pin trading. So these are $5 a piece. E.H. Taylor, Buffalo Trace, Eagle Rare, Sazerac, Weller. I mean, who's not into pin trading? This is a National Historic Landmark, the George T. Stagg Distillery. There's our sculpture of the buffalo or bison, I guess. And let's go check out the hall. All right, here's our haul. Pretty predictable for me, honestly. I got a bottle of Weller. This is a gift. These are all gifts, actually. A bottle of Traveler, the blended whiskey, and a bottle of your standard Buffalo Trace, also a gift. I got some stickers. I did not get the pins. I decided getting into the pin trading game is dangerous. So back here I have some boxes I can put the bourbon away in for safe transport. And for those following, the all those bad lights are off now with the exception of the tire pressure, which I'm sure is a little low. On one of the tires, I'll get that checked out. But we're gonna hit a couple distilleries while we look for a place to air up my tires. Just a horse track in the middle of nowhere. All right, let's do it. Let's hit another distillery. And here's one that most of you have probably heard of, Woodford Reserve. We're gonna check out Woodford Reserve. This is a massive distillery. Their products can be found all over the world. Check them out. All right, here we are, Woodford Reserve. It's really a beautiful building. Cool stuff here. You can get things engraved, you can get bottles engraved over here. And try out whiskey. Buy the merch. They also have tours, tastings. Buffalo Trace had several that were free. I just didn't have time. And also the tours don't start till 10:30. And I'm not gonna be around that long, so. This bottle's only $15,000, the Kentucky Derby 150 Baccarat edition. A very beautiful bottle. A really nice case. I'm a little short on cash today. Also getting into the pin game here. These are cool. How much are these? $18.99 for a 3-pack. One day there's going to be a crazy Bourbon Trail pin trading ecosystem, and I will have missed it because I'm not buying pins. We're going to keep moving down the road. I did not buy anything here. They didn't have anything for sale that I can't buy at my local liquor store, except some, tchotchkes and stuff like that. I don't need any of those right now, at least nothing I saw. So we're gonna keep moving. I have a couple more distilleries I want to hit Then I have to make a decision what I'm doing the rest of the day and what I'm doing tomorrow. Okay, we are here at Castle and Key Distillery. You can see on the, if you look real closely up there, the Old Taylor Distilling Company. Yeah, that is the same Colonel E.H. Taylor that you find at Buffalo Trace. At one point, he was distilling stuff here. Of course, these distilleries used to sort of change hands, and there's all kinds of weird business dealings. No, he was not a real colonel. In Kentucky, if you have connections, you can just get someone to decide that you're a colonel. So that's the kind. He wasn't like as far as I know, like an old military vet. He's just like a guy with connections in Kentucky. So you can see this is shaped like a castle. I've been here before. This is really a really beautiful distillery. So you see the castle and you wonder about the key. We'll check out the key in a few minutes. So now we are kind of in front of the castle, so to speak. The turrets up there. Up here is the gift shop. It's right in here in this. Just really nice landscaping here. They do have like a botanical garden trail to walk around here. We talk about the key thing. What we have over here is a giant well that is dug in the shape of a key, maybe by Colonel Taylor himself, I think. Really cool. We are next to a river here. We have the place kind of to ourselves. As you walk in here, you have this beautiful little area to look at this well. The spring house. So I don't know, well, it's a spring. And right here, there is your keyhole shaped spring. Under here. And that's where you get the castle and key from. Lots of areas to sit. You can walk along the trail if you like. Back around the woods. We come here, there's a little seating area by the river. A little waterfall here. It's really a great spot. I think this place, look, it takes a little work to get here. It's a little off the beaten path. It's very, very close to Woodford Reserve, but it's we're talking back roads, right? In fact, if you think the back road I took here to get here is bad, wait till we leave and go the other direction. And it's like a one-lane driveway off a cliff. There we go. Let's go in the gift shop. Here we are. This is the old boiler room, and this is now the gift shop. And it's really pretty in here. Fancy stuff. Makes you wish you had a fancy farm to buy all this fancy barnware. Some of their bourbon. I like their wheated bourbon here. That's a rye over here. The first time I came here, they didn't have any bourbon for sale because they were new and all their bourbon was still in the barrels. I think, I could be wrong on this, but I think they had the first ever female master distiller. I don't think she's with the company anymore, but I watched some bourbon documentary that she was on once. Oh look, we have more pins. These are $10 though. I have a little bar here where you can buy a couple things. Let's see if they have a coffee. I want to try a coffee. I bet they do. Let's see it out here then. Here we are at the other side of that spring. You can see they have, looks like they're building a kind of shelter over here. People are enjoying the walk around the gardens. It's really peaceful here. All right, let's check out the score. We got a cask strength wheated bourbon. This bad boy is 105.8 proof. I've never seen this one. I've had their wheated and their regular bourbon. I haven't seen this one. So it was $65. Let's put her in the bag and put her with the rest of the bourbon bottles. Never mind, it did not take me on the terrifying one-lane road by cliffs. We're just on a narrow but regular road. You can see even this road, I mean, kind of remote, right? We're right outside the distillery. This is where their trucks have to go, I guess. Well, I guess now we're kind of on a one-lane road. I hope nobody's coming the other way. This isn't the one I remember. This is a different one-lane road. Proceed cautiously over this. Holy crap. So every now and then you come to a distillery that really surprises you. And when we came here for my birthday a few years ago, this one really surprised me. We're at Wild Turkey. And Wild Turkey blew my mind when we were here. We came here for a tasting, and I had always kind of thought of Wild Turkey as, you know, I don't know, fraternity booze. The old stuff, the cheap stuff. And then they have the 101, which is really maybe one of the best bourbons you can get for $20 or $25 or whatever. They're pretty cheap. But they have some other stuff that's really great, and we were blown away by this place.
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah, I think they do. I would say probably around, I don't know, 50 or 20, somewhere in there.
That's pretty cool. Russell's is their master distiller is Jimmy Russell. So if you've ever seen Russell's Reserve, Rare Breed is another one that they have. Long Branch, which used to be a collab with Matthew McConaughey. I'm not even sure that that's still the case, but pretty cool spot. This is the third time I've been here, and the third location for the gift shop that I've had. Pin trading. And you get this view off the back deck. There's the bridge I drove in on. And then there's a railroad bridge there. And that is, I don't know, a couple 100 feet above that river. A little unnerving driving across that bridge all of a sudden, realizing you're on a very old concrete bridge over a very high drop. Kentucky really is beautiful, though. I mean, you've seen we've been in the Georgia mountains, and we were in North Carolina, and we were in Tennessee and Kentucky, and things kind of start rolling out as we get closer to the plains and get a little flatter. But I mean, what a overlooked and beautiful part of the country this is. Okay, this has been an amazing day. So I spent way more time than I was supposed to at Wild Turkey. It's so beautiful, and these people hit me up, really nice couple, and bought me a drink, and we talked. Someone recognized me from YouTube. That was weird. That also happened in Helen, Georgia, by the way. And then they have this Wild Turkey private selection, Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, single barrel. This is like a 101 barrel select, so I had to buy that, right? We were waiting there because Jimmy Russell, who is the master distiller here, he's kind of a legend. They were saying that he was going to be here to sign bottles of their 70th anniversary bourbon. They're going to bring out the 70th anniversary stuff and have him sign it. They said, probably around noon. I didn't know that when I got here. They kind of told us low key. It didn't happen, and now it's like, I don't know, 1:30. I don't know if it's going to happen. Jimmy Russell's pretty old now, long in the tooth, and maybe he needed a nap, or maybe he's busy. I don't know. But this bottle is going in here. They give you the glasses to keep if you buy a drink here. This is great. I think I'm going to stop at one more distillery and then get on the road and figure out where we're going to go. I'm not going to drink. I had one drink. I'm not going to drink at the distillery, but I want to go to Whiskey Thief because one of our viewers, Matt, that's his place. So he came and he brought us a bottle of Whiskey Thief at an episode of News Tonight. He has sent a Whiskey Thief shirt into Boxed In before. I've been to this distillery before. It used to be called Three Boys. And so I want to check it out before I get out of town. So that's what we're going to do after I box up one more bottle of bourbon. This is Whiskey Thief. This is Matt, like some one of our viewers has been in news tonight. Check it out. So they send you down here because this is where the real action is, right? It's where they distill and taste and everything. It's very small. I met a very nice dog over here. Where'd the dog go? I don't know when. Very nice dog that guards this place.
She comes from a company out of Louisville, Kentucky as well called Bendham. They make about 95% of the world's copper stills, so not only here in the United States, but also very much globally. Something very interesting about Nadine herself is she's only one of 5 of those sort of stills made exactly like her. Artist names that we have. So we do have 7 fermenters and only 1 cooker. Our only 1 cooker is Miss Dolly Parton herself, so one and only Dolly. And then we have Merle Haggard, Sergil Simpson. We also have Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash, Alan Jackson in the very back. Over here in the very back, Waylon Jennings, and right here beside Miss Dolly is Loretta Lynn herself. So we do have...
You could buy the barrels, the old barrels. 150 bucks. I don't know if they'll fit in my car, or I might buy one. You can taste all of these. And there they are. There's the first barrel. They're in order. So we have a 6-year, a 7-year, another 7-year. So the one I'm drinking right now is barrel 1. This is 131.6 proof. They also have a jack-o'-lantern barrel. Kind of need one. And since they have dogs around here, I like the skeleton dogs for Halloween. I think that's great. The Jack-a-Barrel.
Jack-a-barrel.
Look.
Or barrel lantern.
I feel like when people talk about the Bourbon Trail that you don't understand what it is until you go. Like, it's not, you don't have to do anything in an order. There's no mandatory places to hit.
Yeah.
You kind of just go find an area that you like that makes bourbon, and the feel is so cool. Like, because it's kind of an elevated country feel. You know what I mean? Like, it's
it's gorgeous surrounding to sip bourbon in.
Oh, Wild Turkey, you could sit back
seems
there. All
fun.
day.
Yeah. But I think it would be a cool opportunity to try a lot of stuff I haven't tried. I just think that'd be a fun way to do.
Yeah, I couldn't really try a lot because I was driving. When we went for my birthday, we actually hired a 14-passenger Mercedes bus that it was kind of like a limo. So we all went along and we had a driver. That's the way to really do it.
That's how to do it.
But I had a great time, and of course, then I don't want to spoil the beginning of the next video, but I decided where do I press on to? I want to get through Louisville.
Louisville.
Louisville. Because I didn't know how traffic would be the next day. Spoiler alert, couldn't go to Holiday World because it's only open on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
So I made it all the way to Evansville, Indiana, found an $80 hotel in a casino. And I thought, what a great place. I won't camp tonight. I found a hotel that's $80. Has one of the deep bathtubs, Take a nice soak. I don't think it did. I don't know. Anyway, so that was that. Indiana, I don't have any Orville Redenbacher. I know he's a famous Indiana popcorn maker. He's not represented, but I did spend a night in Indiana. So now do you feel more like going on the Bourbon Trail?
I already felt like going. It just didn't work out schedule-wise either of the times you've been.
Would you like to pick a popcorn?
I say let's do the Topsies.
The
and
two
then we'll
Topsies.
end on those.
That makes sense.
So I've never had these.
Okay, so Topsy's Kansas City place. They've been in business since the 40s. Mostly it was always like a holiday thing, right? You got the cinnamon. A lot of people don't like that. I love it. And don't say
You love cinnamon
People say it
hot.
tastes like Big Red. It doesn't. It tastes like Red Hots melted and turned into popcorn icing.
I'm with you. Yeah, it's Red Hot, not Big Red.
Yeah.
We had this conversation already. You've never had the Senor Buzz churro? When we go for the media event in November, I'm getting you a Senor Buzz churro. This is good.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't eat a lot.
Oh, I can.
I think that would be overdone at some point.
So that's caramel and cheese. And a lot of people call that Chicago mix, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get the Garrett's, but Garrett's is the quintessential Chicago one, I guess.
Yeah.
So what they're calling Kansas City mix is Chicago mix, plus you mix in some of this cinnamon. So it's like a 3-headed monster.
Okay. They also did caramel and cheese. This was a Tokyo Disney flavor at the Big Pop for a little bit, but I never liked their caramel.
No, but do a bite where you have all three.
Hold on. Oh, this is good. Yeah, I
Mix
should
in a
have
couple
one-
pieces of
okay,
cinnamon.
hold
for the
on.
next handful.
Let me get one each. All right, I got 1 and 1. Let me get one of those.
There you go.
Now you're on to something.
Right?
Yeah, you got to mix them together.
I could have bought it at the airport, but it was in buckets. I didn't really want to take a bucket on the plane with me.
That's good.
Airport popcorn.
See, that's the problem. Is so many people like through time. Like now, we've refined our audience down to people who understand who we are, right? But for many years, when we started doing dining reviews, a lot of people would always say, "Oh, you're so negative. You're so negative." I think if you go out into the real world and have things, you'll have a better understanding of what things are supposed to be as opposed to what they are at a theme park. Now, don't get me wrong. There are things that are spectacular at a theme park and better than they are other places. That exists. I think the best corn dog I've ever had is at DCA. Like, I've never been anywhere else where I thought I had a better corn dog.
I wanted a Renaissance festival once that was incredible.
Yeah?
And I'm sure it was like a kitchen that would fail a normal health inspection.
Oh, yeah.
But in a temporary environment, when all the rules go out the window,
Yeah.
the risk tastes delicious.
But I think if Ratatouille has taught us one thing, it's a great, what is it? Is a great...
Anyone can cook.
a
Doesn't
great,
mean
but
everyone's-
it's the end. No, but it's the end part where he says a great chef. Anyone could be a great chef, or I forget. I'm gonna butcher this. I'm gonna find the actual quote,
anyone can be a great chef.
but that's not the full quote. Or a great chef can come from anywhere. Mm-hmm. I'm sure someone in the YouTube chat already said it. Maybe.
I just love the memes that came out where they're like, this guy hired him to be the executive, start a restaurant for Remy to be an executive chef. The average lifespan of a rat is 18 months. This is an
Horrible
absolute trash
investment.
investment. Yeah.
Is the Wi-Fi down? I gotta get back on the Wi-Fi. Anyone can cook, but only the fearless can be great. That's not the quote. Maybe I'm imagining this quote from the very end of the movie. A great chef can come from... I thought... Maybe I'm thinking of a different movie. I don't even know. Whatever. Roll the clip.
It was from An American Tale. Roll the clip.
It's American Tale. Next clip. Let's go.
So I really, really had an amazing time on the Bourbon Trail yesterday. I only had one drink because I was driving and I was more into the shopping and the enjoying the experience thing. But I can't recommend it enough. And so I went as far west as I felt like going last night. I ended up in Evansville, Indiana. It's near the Indiana-Kentucky border. I know that at one point when a very long time ago in the 90s, I had discussions with them about wanting to go play soccer there at some point in college. But other than that, I've never been here. I stayed at the Bally's Hotel and Casino because it was only $80. And I didn't gamble. I do like to gamble every now and then. I wasn't feeling it last night. The biggest gamble I took was eating their chicken fried steak, which, knock on wood, no ill effects yet. But I made a big decision. I was thinking all day or all night, like, where am I going to go? Where am I going to go tomorrow? And I think we're in for a long drive because I'm going to go to Silver Dollar City. Silver Dollar City's down there, like Branson, Missouri area. And I've wanted to go there my whole life and ride Fire in the Hole. It closed last year. They got a brand new Fire in the Hole they rebuilt. It opened this year. And I want to check it out. It's a very long drive today. It says it's open until 9 p.m. I should get there about 2. That'll give me a little bit of time to explore the park. But yeah, strap in. It's going to be a long ride today. And by the way, some of you are probably saying, wait, I watched the podcast. Eric, you're not too far from Santa Claus, Indiana. You could go to Holiday World. And I really want to. We've talked about Good Gravy for a long time on the podcast. But today is Thursday. They're not open until Saturday, Sunday right now this time of year. So that's going to throw my whole schedule off. So I'm not going to be able to do Holiday World, at least on the way out maybe on my way back on the road trip at some point. My road trip will be interrupted. I do have to fly back to Orlando for a little while. I'll leave my car with a friend of mine in a few days. Actually, I have about a week before I have to do that. I'm going to leave my car, though, fly back to Florida, fly back to Kansas City, and then resume my road trip. I'll be in Florida for about a week. Also be there on that Halloween episode of News Tonight. So, I know it's weird, but that's how this is shaking out. We're in St. Louis now, at least for a minute, as we blow on through town. See Arch, we're still on the other side of the Mississippi. Here we go across the Mississippi now. And we have officially entered into Missouri. All right, so after a long drive, made it to Silver Dollar City. The parking is free, but I have no idea how to get to the park now. I guess I'll find out. All right, here we are. And the sign says all rides are operating today. I don't think that happens at Disney just because it's year-round maintenance, but here we go. The entrance is just under $100. I got my ticket. Ready.
I don't know if they're still stamping cans. You can ask them if they're trying to sell.
Look at what he's doing. It's got to be.
A lot of pumpkins. I'm immediately heading to the fire district, I think it's called, because that's where Fire in the Hole is. There's a media event here today. They have a major announcement. I don't know what it is. Someone said maybe they're opening another park. I don't know what they're doing. I guess I'll find out. I'm not part of the media event. I just stumbled upon it. In the fire district now. Fire in the Hole's back there somewhere. This park is incredible. Lots of elevation changes. Very organic. Tons of kinetic energy, a lot of entertainment going on. People blowing glass and pulling taffy and God knows what else. There's some Dalmatians, you know, because we're in the fire district and they're fire dogs. There we are, finally a fire in a hole. We're gonna go in here. God knows how long this line is. Well, we can't take video on the ride. It's a load station, they'll pull in. So Fire in a Hole was great. It's worth coming here for it. I thought it was just a really neat indoor dark ride roller coaster. It's not a thrill coaster. A couple very small drops. But there's big news they dropped today. I happen to be here. There was a media event. And the news is that they're building their first ever resort hotel. They just announced that in the last like 10 minutes. That's pretty awesome. So far, my impressions of this park are, it's really great. I want to come back when I can spend more time here. Like an old school fun house where the ground is crooked and you have to lean to do everything. I don't even know what's going on here. All right, so Silver Dollar City was a great time, but I'm very hungry. I'm tired from driving so much. And yeah, I went to Look, this is a touristy place, right? Lambert's Cafe, home of throwed rolls. I've heard of it. I've seen people post about it on social media before. I've never been here. I've been to a place where they throw rolls at you in Texas once. That was called like the Peach Patch or something. But yeah, I guess they throw bread at you. So if the wait's not too long, I guess this is where we'll be. It's kind of what I expected in here. Old school Americana decor. Didn't see anybody throw a roll. Maybe I misunderstood what a throwed roll is. This is how they serve your soda. A giant, I don't know what it is, 32 ounces or something. I don't see the guy with the rolls yet. They do throw them. Everyone, they're throwing rolls. Okay, that was pretty amazing. I don't know, like a Cracker Barrel mixed with a baseball game or something. I will say, like, it was a good deal. So I got a meal. I got like a chicken and dumplings. Really good for me, I know. And then you got 2 sides. And then there's people walking around with walk-arounds, which are also other sides, like kind of black-eyed peas and okra and stuff like that. And throwing the rolls at you all you wanted. And then when I got done eating, she's like, you know, you can get another one if you want, right? And I was like, no, I'm full. It was like $20, so not bad for this somewhat legendary touristy spot. Lambert's, home of the throwed rolls in Ozark, Missouri. I had the most cheerful server imaginable. The happiest, most cheerful, friendly server ever. And because we're in the Ozarks, she was not the easiest person to understand, but I appreciate it. I like seeing the rest of the country. Okay, I'm not anyone's source for a room tour, but I'm staying at the Moxie, which is a Marriott property in Springfield, Missouri. So I've stayed in Moxie in like Manhattan, like in New York City. The concept is like super small rooms and they're kind of quirky. I don't know what that thing is, where you put your hat or something, I don't know. Bathroom, very small, right? And then room, very small. But here's the desk. And then there's like, the chair for the desk is just hanging on the wall. And I don't know what these headboard pillows are all about. There's where you hang your stuff that needs to be hung up. Yeah, so interesting. The Moxie concept is always fun. It's always like a dance club vibe when you come in. The check-in desk is a bar, so cool. Hey, also, this isn't a thing to put a hat. It's like a lantern. Like I'm the guy at the Haunted Mansion graveyard. I need to carry my lantern around the hotel room. I guess I could just set it here, leave it by the bedside, turn it off. So yeah, the check-in desk is at the bar, and they give you like a poker chip when you check in. It's good for a free, like whatever their drink of the day is, and there's a whole vibe, man. And I've stayed at a few Moxies before, and they're some of my favorite.
I like when places have personality, right?
Yeah,
I mean, as someone who likes themed entertainment, I like when you leave that realm and there's places out in the real world with personality and you know.
Silver Dollar City has a lot of personality too.
Yeah.
Right. That's very you can kind of see like the way it grew is very organic. It's not like planned out, a place and bulldoze everything. There are giant hills you have to walk up there. Yeah. There are places everywhere with people like, I don't know, blacksmiths working, and there are people making like some working with sorghum to work it down to sweets, taffy, saltwater taffy, man. I already ran out. The good ones are banana and peppermint. Those are the good ones. You get the mixed bag like I did, you're going to end up with some black licorice. Like, sorry. Time Traveler. Can we talk about Time Traveler?
Go for it. I haven't been on it, but go for it.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Time
I'm
Traveler,
dying to go on this thing.
And I've seen it's ranked on some sites, like it's number 30 roller coaster. It is above some of them that are on that list, including some local. Better than Mako. Better than
Mako?
Yeah. Okay, the best way I can describe Time Traveler is imagine writing Cosmic Rewind, right? Actually, the first thing you do is you leave the load station and you take a straight 90-degree drop. 90
I
degrees.
thought it goes up. When does it go upside down? Is
Oh,
that
it
right
does.
away?
But at the very beginning, you do a 90-degree drop straight out of the load station because the load station is built onto like a giant hill.
Okay.
And
It's been a while since I watched it.
and the rest of it is like take away the gravity building, and it's if Cosmic Rewind also went upside down like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And it has like a couple like accelerating areas. Like it is, you are spinning in a controlled spin, so it knows which way it's spinning
Yeah.
and all that stuff, and going upside down.
Yeah.
Jason Diffendahl would
He won't
lose
be
it.
going on this. Yeah.
But Silver, I got to go back to Silver Dollar City because I only had a few hours and I was kind of running in a hurry. There's a cave. It's built on top of a cave system, right? So it started as a cave, like 1800s. These
So
guys
like the
found-
way Knott's Berry Farm started as a berry farm.
right? So somebody found this cave and they called it Marble Cave because they looked in a giant chamber there and they thought that there was marble, but it turned out it was like limestone. Like after 20 years of people buying it and selling it and all this
Oh,
stuff.
no.
And they're like, oh, then it became Marvel Cave. But I think you can. I think it's its own thing. You can go to that cave from outside the park, but you can access the cave from inside the park. It's like in the gift shop. They're like, you want to go in the cave, and there's like the scheduled tour times. You see like the thing going down inside. Imagine walking through the Emporium, and there's like a tunnel down to a cave.
I mean,
So
there's a
I
tunnel,
want to go back and do
but
that.
you're not allowed in it.
They right. They are also, I think, in like a few days. Once Halloween is over, they go into Christmas, and I hear that they do Christmas big
It's
there.
supposed to be like Osborne, essentially.
Yeah,
Their like
yeah.
display. Yeah.
So, what I think you know, and what maybe the viewers don't know, is that the road trip is only paused. Right, my car is still in Kansas City, so I'll be going back, and maybe it's worth a day trip to go down.
That
to
wasn't the
Silver Dollar
last
City.
clip, was it?
No, we got one
no.
more because once I got to Kansas City, I wanted to go to Marceline.
Well, before you do that, should we have one more of these and leave?
Yeah,
maybe
you want
leave the
Reese's or you want
I think we got to leave the
leave
Reese's.
the Reese's to the end.
I think we have to have the Main Street.
All right, here, you hold this, and
This
I will
is the
read
Colonel,
off.
the Colonel Kitchen.
This is from the Colonel Kitchen. The Colonel Kitchen at the confectionery.
I don't know
And
if you want to show the people at home.
this is seasonal candied popcorn with freeze-dried Skittles, mini marshmallows, gummy worms, and white chocolatey drizzle. The Halloween trick mix, they call it. So help
pop
yourself to
this?
some trick mix.
Oh, I'm gonna hold on. I'm gonna do
Courtesy
this-
of Allie.
I'll do this down here first, and I'll lift it to that camera.
You're going to offer some to
Because
Gertie.
otherwise, I'm gonna get it everywhere. All right, here we go.
Ooh, is it all solidified into like one chunk? Is
It's
that what I'm seeing here?
possible. Yep, it sure is.
So
Okay.
you to properly evaluate it, you're going to need a handful that has each of the ingredients. You want to just set it right here.
I don't know.
Each. So one worm.
Oh, they wrote on the container. They ruined it.
one mini.
I have to go back now.
One freeze dried.
I just need a plain bin. Why'd they write on it? We couldn't tell it was the trick or treat one. Look at the color of it.
It's for checkout.
It is solid as a rock. I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
have a
how we're
fight
gonna
with
eat
someone
this.
about writing on this bucket. No, we're eating it as it is because it's meant to go. This was the argument someone had about the cake last week, and I'm like, it's bakery to go. His face. You go on and on about the Colonel Kitchen, and this is the one we got. It's not even the good
No.
one.
I was surprised at how sour it was. It's all one.
Give me this. It's actually pretty good.
It is good. A little more sour than I'd hoped.
It's not as good as usual, but yeah, I mean, this is definitely for
It's not their best mix of all time.
people that like Skittles and Sour Patch Kids and things of the like.
$14?
$14 and no one even throws a roll at you.
No one even throws a roll at you. By the way, I've seen that place my whole life. Like my whole social media existence, at least, was like people, oh, I'm at Lambert's, home of throwed rolls. It was pretty good. It was pretty
I
good.
prefer Lambert's, home of the sheepish lion.
Are these popcorn? Is the popcorn actually different flavor or just different color?
There's popcorn in there.
There's a purple one and here's an orange one. Is this grape?
How are you going to possibly
Possibly.
taste the popcorn between all of these ingredients?
I can't tell.
This is like if you asked a kid, you can make a dessert any kind you want. And the kid just named stuff and you're like, all right, here you go. This is not like a competent creation.
This is not their best. I love the Colonel Kitchen. This is not my favorite. It's a little unhinged.
I mean, I love freeze-dried Skittles, man.
Freeze-dried Skittles, man.
I don't even like regular Skittles.
All right. All right, ready to watch the culmination of Road Trip, at least part one of the road trip?
Hold on a minute. Oh, I was going to take the whole thing by one Skittle. I was going to lift the whole thing out. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Okay, so we've made it to Kansas City, spent the night there, and now we're here in Marceline, Missouri at the Disney family farm. So Walt lived here from the age of about 4 till about 9 years old, and a lot of his formative years were spent obviously here in Marceline, and there's a lot of Disney history about that. We're going to poke around Marceline a little bit. As an adult, Walt Disney wrote, "To tell the truth, more things of importance happened to me in Marceline than have happened to me since or are likely to in the future." He drew upon this idyllic farm life in Marceline for stories and characters that became world famous through his animated and live action productions. We're going to go up here. There's the Dreaming Tree where Walt claimed to do belly botany, he called it. He'd lay on his stomach and, look at the grass and the ground and dream and, come up with ideas, art. This is him as a young man. The original Dreaming Tree, unfortunately, is dead. They sell pieces of it at the museum, but they have a new Dreaming Tree, and this area where the Dreaming Tree is about 30 feet away from the original. We'll check it out. So this is what they're calling the son of Dreaming Tree. His Dreaming Tree sapling was planted by Walt's grandson, Bradford Disney Lund, with the assistance of the Walt Disney World ambassadors, Sarah Spike, Juan Aviles, and Christopher Stewart. Soil from the Magic Kingdom and water from the rivers of America were lovingly mixed with soil from this iconic farm during the planting this cottonwood tree here. So this is the new Dreaming Tree right here, son of Dreaming Tree. And about 30 feet away is the original site, like I said, of the Dreaming Tree, where Walt would spend a lot of time as a very young kid. I mean, you can imagine a young kid wandering down here, that idyllic farm life that was so memorable for him. And here's a site of the original Dreaming Tree, just that was destroyed. I think it got struck by lightning. And here he is, obviously pointing it out. This is a nice story. When a young Walt decided to hold a circus in the barn, his friends paid 10 cents for a show comprised of a lethargic goat, a pig, and a family dog and cat dressed in Sister Ruth's doll clothing. They were not impressed. When Flora heard the commotion in the barn, she requested Walt refund the admission and shared this wisdom: if you deliver more than your audience expects, they will never be disappointed. A lesson he took to heart, and unfortunately Bob Chapek never got that lesson. So this is Walt's barn. This is built in 2001 to celebrate Walt's 100th birthday. It was constructed using blueprints he had commissioned from his own Holmby Hills workshop. So this is a replica basically, and you can go in here, you can sign your name. There's some cool stuff in here. I'll show you when we get in here. I mean, this is it. What a beautiful little piece. All right, now we have the place to ourselves. You can see there's hilarious. I couldn't find it. There's a hilarious area here where Tony Baxter drew Big Thunder Mountain. I feel like it was on this wall. And then someone wrote their name right over his autograph. Like, oh, thanks a lot, guys. I think my name's over here. There you go, to the right of the window. Eric Morton. There we go. Cool barn. I love it here. Okay, we're rolling into town. This is the inspiration for Main Street USA. Right here in downtown Marceline. Back here behind this jewelry store is the Coke corner. And there's a really good story about that. Try to find a place to eat, though. There's the Uptown Theater. Uptown Ed, holler at ya. This is Walt Disney Elementary School. I've been in there before. It's pretty cool. They have a lot of drawings and stuff inside in the gym, some cartoons. Over here, it's kind of cool. Walt donated this flagpole. This is from the Squaw Valley Olympics. And Walt and Roy personally donated this to the school. We have arrived at the Walt Disney Hometown Museum. Last time I was here, they were dedicating this citizen clock, which is a replica of, maybe you've seen this on Main Street USA in the park. They dedicated this clock a couple years ago. We were here for that. This is a really neat museum. There's a lot to see here. I'll try to be respectful in there and not talk too much, but I'll try to show you a few things too. They don't let you take video in a museum, so it was cut shorter. And I alluded to the Coke corner story in there. Yeah. Do you want to tell it? You've been to Marceline.
I love this story.
This is one of the great Disney stories, actually.
This is my favorite because my two corporate affinities in my life are Disney and Coca-Cola. So I love this because they're brands. I think it shows how a brand was connected to Walt's life and how he had a similar thing that what we have with his stuff, right? So a bunch of people thought when they built, like we built Main Street there, like, oh, it's all inspired by his hometown of Marceline and the Main Street there. And so these are all based on businesses and things he saw when he lived there. And so people went back and they're like, there's no like corner drugstore or where you get soda or soda fountain. Like it doesn't exist. And so everyone was confused as to why there's the Coke refreshment corner. And so they found out later that by the time people went back and were looking around, that the inspiration had been destroyed. I forget if it's, I'm going to butcher the story now because I don't remember. Well, had they built something in front of it or what had happened?
Correct. So the way that I remember hearing the story is that Walt told people, is like when I was growing up, that was Coke Corner. We called it Coke Corner. It was where the big Coke sign was on the building.
Yeah.
And they're like, they went back and they're like, he's just the old man.
It's not there. It wasn't a soda fountain.
Yeah, it wasn't. And then they knocked down this building that was on the corner, and it exposed that wall where it's now painted. It still has the.
They've restored it,
but it had the Coca-Cola.
It because it is the one Walt saw that inspired him. Like, oh, we'll have a Coke corner in the park because we had a Coke corner in Marceline, but people didn't get it because you would think, oh, Coke corner. They went and they got sodas and they stood on the corner. No, it's just where the Coke billboard was.
And just for you people watching out there, Coke Corner in Orlando is a totally different thing. Right?
It is both for your joke and in reality between Casey's Corner and what you meant. It is.
So that was my trip to Marceline. Cut a little short. Obviously, the editing, I'm not very good at it.
That's why
I'm
it's not a
natural
vlog and
vlogger,
it's instead on this show.
Correct. I'm not ready to stand on my own, right? And Billy doesn't want to do any more editing.
Billy has 14 things to edit this week. That's enough.
So there we go. There's my trip.
Did you have a good time?
I had a great time.
That's great.
I would have had a little bit better time if I had a little bit more time. So the problem is that the hurricane delayed me, so I was just my timeline was a little compressed. So I didn't get to.
You kept pushing back for a while. Like I got back, and you kept saying, "I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna go," and you just kept shoving it back, and then by the time you were ready to go, then the hurricane.
I'm like, oh man, I got to get to KC by Friday, right?
Yeah.
So, I would have loved to have spent a couple days in some of these places.
Yeah.
And only spent one day. I mean, I only spent a couple hours in Pigeon Forge, however long it took me to get seated and eat. What would be your chicken name? Tom Eggless?
No. Tom Cluckless.
Yeah, it's probably a better name. Well, I guess there's only one thing left to do.
I think the most memorable thing we ever done on this show is have a 20-minute conversation about Reese's, which set the tone, I think, for the program moving forward, where either people were like, oh, they don't actually talk about Disney on this show, and also they're going to talk about whatever. And so I think it's only fitting that we end episode 50 trying the Reese's popcorn.
And what about Gertie?
Should we plug things first?
Yeah, plug Gertie.
Okay. This is the last time you're going to see this one because we're going to actually have the Santa Gertie sample in a few days. So Santa Gertie is available for pre-order. The funny thing is going to be when we sell out before we show the sample on camera. Because we've sold over 700. There's only 1,000. Pre-order now at wdwnt.shop or carouselproducts.com. Again, we've only done 1,000. This is the last Gertie we're doing. We did standard Gertie. They're gone. Santa Gertie, when they're gone, that's it. There are no more Gerties. This is the end.
Easter Bunny Gertie, maybe?
No. Only Gerties that exist will be made. So this is the end. If you ever wanted a plush Gertie, last chance might be now. And then I'll plug WIGS real quick before we do this. Our WIGS members watched live this episode, and they got a very different episode because they got to hear us commentate over the clip. So if you want to watch us record this show live or get the show early, you can become a WIGS member at patreon.com/WDWNT.
That's right, Tom.
You also get a discount on Gertie if you're a WIGS member.
Reese's Popcorn. Popcorn with chocolatey drizzle and peanut butter cream.
That's simple.
Courtesy
I like the back of the
Amazon.
bag has like 5 words on it. What does it
Reese's
say?
Popcorn. How did we ever live without it?
And that's it. This product's going to speak for itself, I guess.
Available on Amazon.
Where did you get it?
Amazon.
Oh, that's where you got it. It might be in grocery stores. We don't know.
Probably next to the carrots.
Next to the Oreo Coke. Oh my God, it smells amazing. It smells so good. We doing it?
We're doing it.
How did we ever live without this?
Katie would like some.
That is a 7 out of 7.
Yeah?
You don't think so?
So my main critique is that it really depends on which piece you get.
See, I like that it's essentially regular. I was worried it was going to be just like, what is that, the Moose Munch? Where it's just going to be like real coated. And don't get me wrong, I love that. But I really love that this is essentially regular popcorn with chocolate and peanut butter. And it's like you melted Reese's onto your buttered popcorn. And I really like that.
It's taking me a minute. It is pretty darn good. 7, I mean, that's...
Oh, it's a 7.
It's like not overly sweet.
That's what I like. It's salty and sweet, but neither side overpowers the other. It's very good. This has got to be taken away from me.
6.5. I'm starting to lean towards 7. It's getting there. You got to take it away, Katie.
Yeah, get it away from us.
I think it's a 7. I mean, to me, the Topsy Cinnamon is also a 7, but that's just me.
I would
The
give
mix-
that a
the
6.
Werther's.
That'd be a
Yeah.
6 for me. I love that.
What about
though.
Werther's?
6.
6.
I'd give the weird Halloween popcorn a 6.
Yeah. While
This
we
is
watched
a
the clip,
2.
suddenly like half of it disappeared. Yeah, this
That's a
cheddar
2.
stuff is a 2. Regular park
1.
popcorn, 1. Walmart, great value, is like a 4 or 5 because whoever turns down popcorn when it's hot when you're watching
2.
TV?
I like this a lot, too. I give
Yeah.
this a 6, too. I like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. And you mixed them together? They were a 6
Together, they're a 7.
Together, there's.
I think if you put them
Kansas City
together,
mix,
I'm with you.
I'll bring back a bucket next time, right? Because I'll be going through the airport again. I'll just make sure that I don't have like a carry-on with me, and I'll just get a.
That's the carry-on. You wouldn't.
bucket of
There's
popcorn?
no way you'd be the first human to do that.
No.
Yeah.
People love to bring home like their something from when
Yeah.
you go back to wherever you're from.
Yeah.
People from wherever. People from Chicago probably bring back Lou Malnati's pizza or whatever.
I mean, Japan, the whole culture is you have to bring something back.
Yeah.
A small food gift, right? And so people always think the Kit Kats, they're like, oh, did you get the weird Kit Kats? And when you go, you then realize they're only a thing at the tourist stores because it's meant to be a thing people take home from Japan
Right.
back to their country of origin. It's not actually like a Japanese thing. And so like at the airport stores, it's like all the things you just talked about.
Yeah.
In Japan, you leave and there's 14 kinds of Kit Kat available and Tokyo Banana at the airport.
I saw someone on a flight from New York one time with a box from, is it Gray's Papaya?
Absolutely.
Yeah, a box from Gray's Papaya.
I've seen
Obviously bagels, a lot of bagels because those keep
It's been my
longer too,
parents
right?
several times. They usually bring me bagels.
Yeah.
That's my one request, and they bring sleeper hit those they're Stu Leonard's bagels. Man.
Stu Leonard.
I like Stu Leonard's. That's
sounds like
it's a
he
grocery
sounds like a drummer.
store. No, it's a grocery store that has animatronics.
Oh, we've talked
about Stu Leonard's many times. The Disney World of
Leonard's.
grocery stores. You wouldn't think that's like one of the best bagel places, but they make very good bagels, and obviously they're in New York, so
Old Stu Leonard.
I love it.
My dad brought In-N-Out.
He brought In-N-Out.
In-N-Out? No.
I don't like In-N-Out hot.
Only people from California like In-N-Out. I think.
Pregnancy craving of In-N-Out.
Yeah, well, your parents are from California, so
Yeah.
it's like people from Texas and nobody else loves Whataburger, right?
I've never been.
Oh God, they opened in Tampa,
I've
and
never
like
been.
you've never seen an emptier, sadder drive-through than when they had the Whataburger in Tampa. It was like, it's a Zaxby's.
Remember
now
when you
on
brought me the
Hillsborough.
White Castle and I said this is wrong?
Yeah. You didn't like their
from
chicken
here?
rings. Yeah.
Everything was wrong. The burgers were wrong. The chicken rings were wrong. It wasn't right. Didn't taste like it. But yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes, look, I love this place called Pizza Shuttle up in Kansas.
You and your pizza shuttle.
Pizza Shuttle, man. But, it's probably not for everybody.
Yeah.
You get these things that you develop a craving for when you're young, like Whataburger, which everybody else in the world is like, eh. But you're like, hey, it's next door, and I remember it from growing up, so I love it.
Yeah.
And, it is an above-average burger. In-N-Out is an above-average burger. If you're comparing them to McDonald's and Burger King, those two stand out. If you're comparing them to, like, every other burger you could have, they're kind of just middle of the pack.
Cake Bake has a better burger.
It's $32 for a cake.
Well,
Bake burger.
$25. You missed it. They lowered it to $25.
Oh God! The Five Guys down the street is super expensive now. But
Five Guys
their burgers
everywhere.
a hammer though.
Oh, Five Guys is fantastic, but between the caloric intake and the price, I don't know which is higher at this point. Five Guys. The last time I got Five Guys, I was like, "What the hell?" It was like $20-something for me. It's like, what am I doing?
Here's a weird regional thing though. What I'll say is because I've lived in Texas a few times, and like I'm not trying to disparage Whataburger. I realize people get excited about it.
Yeah,
whatever. They do have a Dr. Pepper milkshake. And I don't know that it's great, but I think the idea of it is fantastic. And I will say that Dr. Pepper in Texas tastes better than Dr. Pepper everywhere else. Wow. And I don't know if that's because it all comes from a central plant there in Texas or what, but Dr. Pepper in Texas tastes better than Dr. Pepper tastes in Florida. And I love Dr. Pepper, by the way.
So do I.
Possibly Texas's greatest contribution to the American beverages, better than Tito's vodka, better. I don't know what other Texas beverages there are.
Fun fact. I love Diet Coke, but if I am buying cans of soda, I get Diet Dr. Pepper. I think it tastes better in a can.
Do you agree? Would you agree with me that Coca-Cola tastes better in a can than it tastes in a plastic bottle?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
right?
Fountain is the best.
Fountain is the best.
Fountain Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
Pepsi, when I used to drink Pepsi when I was a kid, I always felt the opposite. I always liked it from the bottle. And then I never liked Fountain Pepsi. I don't know.
I've never liked really any Pepsi.
I know. I fell out of love with it at a very early age. It was like never again.
But Pizza Shuttle uses Pepsi. So I had to deal with it. But they have they'll pack your whole styrofoam cup with the rabbit turd ice before they even put any drop of Pepsi in it. So it comes in almost like a ice cold slushy.
I'm
makes it better.
gonna bring this all full circle. When I stopped going to Buffalo Wild Wings? When they got Pepsi.
Yeah.
And that's the full circle. We did it.
I was unaware that they had non-alcoholic drinks at Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, right. Well, I was I didn't drink much then, so
That's back before they started fixing sports games to make the game last longer.
it was
Too.
before I was defeated by the world and had alcohol. But yes, the positive note to end. Stop eating the Reese's popcorn. Get rid
All right.
of food.
Thanks for watching. We realize this is an unhinged episode, but
thank you for watching 50 of them.
but
Or
some
listening
of you
to
have watched 50
Those of
maybe.
you that listen.
All right. I guess we'll see you next time on the WDW News Today podcast.
We'll see you real soon. Give me back the popcorn.